We are going to the Newfoundland Mountain Range, which is a mountain range in the salt flats north of I-80. And to get there, you have to drive across this railroad grade. And when we get there, we will be hiking a peak called Desert Peak. And at the end of the day, we will be having a fire and we will also be looking at stars. And after that, we will be coming home at like 10 o'clock at night. We are now leaving for the Newfoundlands. We are now leaving I-80 and we're going to take this road up to Lakeside, which is a mining area by the railroad grade, and then we're going to take the railroad grade to the Newfoundlands. Lakeside, you have to go through this military area, and here's the entrance. We had made it to Lakeside. We had made it to the railroad grade, and we're going to take this for about 20 miles, and it goes across the salt flats. That building over there is the pump station. That is where they pumped out water in the 80s because the Great Salt Lake was on the verge of flooding. We had made it to the Newfoundland Mountain Range, and now we are off the railroad grade, and we're going to take this road to the Desert Peak trailhead. Over there is Desert Peak, and the trailhead is just below that saddle below Desert Peak. We are now on the road that leads to Desert Peak. You must have a four-wheel drive vehicle on this part of the road because it is very rough. We had made it to the Desert Peak trailhead, and we're going to walk up that road to the saddle, and the peak is over there. We are now starting our hike to Desert Peak. We had made it to the saddle of Desert Peak. Desert Peak is up there, and we came from down there. Desert Peak, the trail conditions were loose rock and steep. Also, it was very hard to navigate in because you were constantly slipping. You can't really see Desert Peak that good yet, but once we get up on the ridge a little bit more, you'll be able to see it really good. We had made it higher up on the ridge, and now you have a really good view of Desert Peak. It looks really steep and super hard. We had made it to the top of Desert Peak, and Desert Peak is 7,000 feet tall, and that part between the ridge and the summit is super steep. It has about a 45-degree angle. And not just that, there's some scree and loose rocks in some places, so it makes it even harder to go up Desert Peak. We are now heading down. We're going to take a little bit of a different route on the way down. We're going to go to that ridge on the right instead of going to that ridge with a bunch of loose rocks. We had made it back to the trailhead, and this hike was 2.2 miles round trip. It took 3 hours, and it climbed 1,800 feet. We are now driving back, but once we get to the main road, we will be driving south on it for a little bit until it gets dark. And when we come back, we're going to find a spot and have a fire and look at stars. We had made it back to the main road, and now we're going to turn left on this and drive for a little bit. This is as far south as we're going to go on this road. It is about 4:30 p.m. The reason why the sun is low in the sky is because it's November 9th, and that is when the days are short. We had made it to the place where we're gonna have a fire and look at stars. There is some rocks you can climb behind the area, and the view from up here is really cool. There is some coyotes in the area, and you can hear them really well. We are now heading down from the rocks, and once we get down, we will have a fire and look at stars. We had made it back down. It is currently not dark enough for stars yet, but in about 30 minutes it will be. It is now dark enough to look at stars. There is a half moon tonight. It might be a little hard to see stars, but other than that, the stars are perfect. We are now done looking at stars, and it is about 7 o'clock. It is about a 3-hour drive from Salt Lake to the Newfoundlands. Most of the driving time is on dirt road and 4x4 roads. We had made it back to the railroad grade. We had made it back to Lakeside, and that train passing a few feet on the side of us was very cool. We had made it back to I-80. We had made it back, and this will be the end of the video.